What's shaking, guys? It's Feldy bringing you another Clash of Clans video, and today we are getting into Town Hall 12 war bases. Now, I'm going to do something that I really never do, and I am actually going to reveal all three of my war bases. Here's hoping nobody looks at this for CWL. Okay. Town Hall 12 war bases. Now, I want to give you guys kind of an in-depth look of what makes a really good war base. So, here's kind of the deal. You're looking for defenses that you can give up on the outside. You're looking for pathing for units that you know are going to go right next to each other. So hogs, for example, will path from a cannon to an archer tower. So what do you put in the middle? A big bomb. What do you know where people are going to come in with air attacks? You're going to put your balloons, right? So what you're trying to do is set your base up for as much success in war as possible, trying to kill as many troops as quickly as possible before their attack squad can get in. Now, what you want to really try to do is throw off the defender, or the attacker, I should say, and you want to get in and make sure that your base can actually hold up. Now, here's kind of what a scenario is with this base. You've got all your expos set to air and ground. Now, I think that's critical in any base. I don't think the extra use that you get from the reach on ground, like, it really is negligible for what the power of the expo is, right? You're trying to get any kind of troop to come out and die, right? Essentially is what you're trying to do with these expos. If you limit half of the offense, and the offense now being so air-based, it's going to be kind of a challenge, right? So these now are, keep in mind, before the Ice Golem update. So this Ice Golem update is going to change how all of these war bases will function, because the range that the Ice Golem now will cover and spread, you have to start thinking about spacing your troops out. Now, this is a fairly spaced out base. The goal that you're trying to do with something like in this base, with all these heavy defenses down here, of course, they don't know what the Tesla looks like. This is just how they see it. The goal is to try to get them to come in up here and get 50% right away, because they can pretty much easily target these. I mean, hey, you could literally even send in goblins and probably 50% this base just from the ring with like 100 goblins, right? But that's not what you do in war. I mean, some people have, and they probably get kicked out of their clan. But what you really are trying to do is, I've got the Infernos set to single, so I am for sure making sure that I have a statement saying this base is anti-air. It will destroy air. And what I've done is, for drag bat, you've got your wizard towers kind of positioned strategically around the base so that not one swarm of bats could come in and take them out. Now, they're also, besides these two right here, they're fairly inset in the base. I mean, you've got a couple different things defending, right? But like your queen, she could pick that off, but then she's got to deal with these over here. This guy, he's fairly inset in the base as well. So you're trying to think of how the queen and how the king are going to attack bases. So, and path as well, because heroes, especially Queen Walk, is the majority of what can 3-star a Town Hall 12. Now, if you're obviously a Town Hall 11 or lower, this doesn't really apply to you, but these are for Town Hall 12s. And by this time, if you're a Town Hall 12, you probably know what you're doing. But those who just get to Town Hall 12, I just kind of want to show you guys how this structure and path works. So essentially, I've created this little river, I'm going to call it, for lack of better terms, to have the troops come up and try to actually kill the Town Hall. Now, it's got all the defenses trying to lure the heroes to go attack up in that area. Now, obviously, with an air sweeper pointed this way and an air sweeper pointed this way, you can see I pretty much have half the base covered, where the sweeper will push back loons. having a couple of these air Ds a little bit more inset kind of also helps. They're basically top heavy, so if somebody comes in from the bottom, they're dealing with expos. So base design is truly an art, right? Now, this one is, it's got this little moat coming in that paths this way. So if heroes happen to go down that channel, then they kind of get obliterated by all these other things. You also can see I've got lots of different little zones where Teslas could be hidden, where bombs could be hidden, and so you can kind of see how the layout feels, right? It's a very natural kind of feeling in terms of, okay, it's got a couple boxes, it's a little asymmetrical, but where everything is placed is very thought through. So it really holds up anti 3-star. You can get 2-starred with this. Of course, my defenses aren't all max, so that's another reason. So that's that base. I'm just going to come in quickly. This is actually my favorite base, anti 3-star. I'm just going to do a scout view. Most people come in and they see all these buildings together and they think easy E-drag attack. Well, the problem is the E-drag pathing gets totally botched in this attack. And what ends up happening is they circle around the base and they go around and around and around, because you can kind of see exactly what's going on. You've got the little islands with infernos. I've got 2 set to single and 1 set to multi. And then I've got my wizard towers kind of in different zones within the base, right? And then for the most part, the eagle is super protected, and then they hit a wall of Teslas and they hit the wall of air Ds. So essentially what I'm telling the person is, you either come in at me one way or the other. And that's exactly what happens. Hardly anybody ever attacks this layout from the side, which is probably the smartest way to actually attack that base. All right. And miners would probably do very well with that base as well. All right, last base, and then we're done with Town Hall 12 war bases. I made this one all on my own. I don't have any kind of credit for anything besides it just being kind of this weird, unique base. Now, what I like to do is I like to put these little traps in between these zigzag walls. I kind of have them in both areas. And then I have these little tiny channels that the heroes kind of have to funnel in. I've got the expo surrounded by all the heavy artillery buildings so that, you know, if they're targeting a gold storage, it can at least start pounding on the troops. Typically, somebody will come in with a wall wrecker right there. Each little island has its own kind of unique things that are going on within it. Essentially, what ends up happening is people try to come down and obviously take out the massive town hall trapped area. I did not put all my Teslas in one area so that people couldn't freeze, because obviously freeze on the town hall is a very relevant thing because it's got the Giga Tesla attached to it. So trying to make them utilize their freezes, and then the Eagle can just rain havoc onto the troops. So it is one of these zigzag kind of, I force the flow into one way or another. I do have strategic defenses that I give up, being the bomb towers, where if, say, they do come in with ground, the golem will try to target that first. Even if they drop the golem, say, over here, he's going to try to go to the wizard tower first. So because of the pathing of having these buildings accessible. So it's all in what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. Take these tips and enjoy them for your war bases. And I hope that helps for at least Town Hall 12. They aren't super advanced bases, but they are kind of fun just to at least take a peek at, and you kind of know what to expect when going out and building your new base. Good luck with that. Until next time, Feldy. Peace.